Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Ramona and this is James. In April 2024, we bought our first home, a 3-bedroom semi-detached new build home in Northern Ireland. Join us as we document our journey completing DIY projects, doing a bit of gardening and more.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another weekly vlog. This week we're going to give you a bit of a home update, so maybe talk a little bit more about some of the snagging frustrations we've had, and then we're also going to do just a bit more DIY around the house. We'll also hopefully be able to reveal to you the 2 floating frames that I tried to make for Ramona, and we may also go for a little bit of a walk somewhere. So yeah, stay tuned for that and look forward to speaking to you all in the comments as well.
Hi guys, so as James said, we're trying to take care of some of the things in the house, and these floating frames have been on my mind since we moved in, so I'd say probably half a year since I've been trying to get these up. So here it is, and this is the side of it obviously, and I just think at the moment it looks a bit like, you know, very raw type of wood, like it just needs a little bit of TLC, it needs a bit of something. And another thing that I really want to get done is I have 2 other canvases, as you can see, here they are. And I want to put these just above our couch in the living room, because at the moment our living room is just empty, and I'll show you that as well. It just doesn't look kind of homely. So this is our sofa obviously, but then above it there's nothing. Over on this side of the wall there's this painting that I did a while back. It's just kind of like a bit of an abstract piece. We've made a frame for this as well, but one of the corners is broken off. So James will have to glue it again and it'll have to go overnight. So it's not something you'll be able to see today. So here it is, and yeah, that corner has come out. And the idea for these 2, I'll insert a picture because it'll be much easier, but it's basically like a texturized fabric. Everything's looking a bit empty at the moment, and it's not the way that I wanted my home to look. We've been here 6 months and it's time to just get it all done and get it out of the way once and for all. Now I need to decide what fabric I'm going to use, and I have a lot of bed sheets here that I don't use anymore, so the only way to know is to just pull them out and find out which ones are the best to use and which ones I can get rid of. I think this is going to be the one. Okay, so that was quick. So I have my sheet here. A second thing that I'm going to need is obviously a basin, because I'm going to mix water with my plaster. So the plaster mixes goes in here. Pieces of fabric that are cut out roughly to the size of the canvas, which means I can kind of scrunch it up a little bit and it will have this sort of folded texture, which is nice and artistic. And I've got the same one over on the other side, and now I've just got to put the 2 of them in water and then arrange them in a way that looks nice to me, I guess. So this is what we're like so far, and yeah. Okay, so here I've got my paint mix just in a little whipped cream tub, and it's kind of 1 part water, 1 part paint, and I've got my little brush. So I'm going to dip the brush in the paint that's mixed with water, and I'm going to go all around the edges, and then I have a cloth to kind of wipe it, because that's what a whitewash is really. Right, so I'm a bit pooped at the moment because it's just been a day where it's kind of go, go, go. So we woke up and then we had to go to the bank, and after the bank we did the shop, unload the shop, make something to eat, and then it was doing these frames and trying to take care of things at home. James at the moment is outside and he's washing both of our cars, power washing and then power washing. So I'm kind of getting to that point now where I'm like, is there an end to this day? But here's what my kitchen is looking like at the moment. So that's the floating frame drying over there with the whitewash on it. To be very, very honest, I'm not sure how I feel about it, and I'll tell you why. You see this type of wood, which is pine wood, it's kind of splitting over here, and pine wood tends to be a little bit more kind of fibrous. It's not as smooth as something like oak. So when you put a whitewash on top of it, it kind of tends to gather in the nooks and crannies of the wood, and it doesn't always look even. Yeah, maybe the varnish will bring it all together. I'm trying to convince myself. And then these are still drying here, and I'm kind of a bit dubious about these two because I'm not really too sure whether they'll dry. So I'm just hoping today won't have been a waste of time, because you know how it is, sometimes there's certain things in the house and you're like, okay, today's going to be the day I'm going to get those done, and then I won't be thinking constantly, should have done that. And that's what I'm trying to make today, but I'm not sure that today is the day that I get the things done that I wanted to get done. Does anyone else have to go around looking for their husband? Well, this is me regularly. I'm wondering where James is, and whenever I go and look for him, he always happens to be talking to somebody. This is the third time that I'm looking for James, and then I look at him and look. There he is, chatting with another neighbor. The neighbors around here love him, and whenever they catch him, they just end up talking forever and ever. Here's James cleaning both of our cars. Looks very well, babe.
What?
The cars look very well, I said.
I'm not sure too much, don't worry.
There you were, chatting with the neighbours again.
Aye.
You love the neighbours?
Popular smell.
And here's my car. It's looking much better. It's picking up a lot of dirt. My car's having a lot of problems as well, and I'm not very happy about it. And I think the clutch is slipping, so that might cost a lot of money. And we had a lot of problems with the EGR. Won't bore you, but basically we had to go back to the garage that mapped out the EGR, and we had to undo it. It was just a whole mess. So no luck with my car or James's car. Oh, here we go. Here's something I've asked James to do for a long time, which is to get this cat scratcher here on the ground and to mount it over there, because we're having a problem with the cat. He's just tearing at the carpets all along the stairs, all upstairs. So this is the solution.
Well, I'm not too in favour of putting things through the wall, because putting holes in your wall is sort of permanent. You can fill them in, but they'll never look the same again. But if it helps save the sofa and the carpets, we'll give it a go.
Yes, it's for you, Moo. It's your cat scratcher for you, Stinky. He's like, Daddy, thank you for doing my little scratcher. Spray some of this. Yeah, that's it.
So guys, it's evening time now, and as you seen earlier, I did the cat scratcher in the hallway for Moo, and Ramona's been at me to do that for a while. And there's another thing that she's been wanting me to do, is just put up another picture in the kitchen. So I obviously am not a fan of having to hang pictures and stuff. It's just, to me, boring, but has to be done. So I just put this little picture up here in the kitchen, and that's where we normally have our bins. So I just used little fine pins, little like wall pins, I suppose you would call them, like very small nails, and just put 2 of those in behind, and then just making sure it's level here, and it's pretty bang on there, as you can see with the spirit level. So one thing that annoys me is when you put up a picture and then you step back and it looks all wonky. So I like to make sure that they're nice and level and looking the part. So yeah, another little bit of DIY done around the house.
So this is the following days, guys, and it didn't turn out too well yesterday. So I just thought that it was a bit too white. The whitewash was too white. So What we did instead, if you remember, I was saying that the wood is just too fibrous and it was pulling in too much of the color. So James has gone and sanded the side of this, and now it's so smooth. And I think instead what we're going to do is maybe go to B&M and we're going to try and find a stain, and I think I'm going to go for like a dark oak type of stain. So we've got the stuff. I got some more plaster, and show me, James. We got some Mod Podge and some wood stain, and it's like a dark kind of French oak. So all you can do is try. Right, so we went to the store to buy this. It's a wood type of stain, and I'm just putting it on top here, and hopefully this will just blend in better with the art piece. But there's no way to know until it's all finished. So far so good. Oh guys, it's getting dark out here and I'm not having any luck. I'm not having any luck with this painting whatsoever, and I feel like binning it. I just think it's too brassy, and there's nothing that gets under my skin more when I see like brassiness. Like, see the way our shed is kind of orange? I can't stand that. I just don't like that warmth coming through, because it reminds me of like really old church pews that are really outdated and just not in anymore. And it contrasts even more because orange is the opposite of blue. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really just at a loss of what to do about this, but I feel like binning it at the moment. That's the truth. One last update, guys, is the two canvases that I was working on. So here they are now. I've had to redo them completely, so I've had to actually take the sheets off, and I've had to go and buy more plaster. I actually got some Mod Podge as well, put that in too, so hopefully they'll harden. Whenever these are done and up on the walls, we'll show you the final result. But yeah, as usual, sorry that it hasn't been finished and we haven't been able to show you. All of our projects are always something we have to push on further. So yeah, that's the way of it. That's life sometimes, and we're experimenting with these things and figuring it out as we go along. So yeah. So I'm set up here, and I have basically two old jars from candles that I bought on Amazon, which were natural candles as well. These came in a pack of candle making kind of a kit. You pour the wax inside after you melt it, and then you have to leave it to harden in this position. So here I've got some tools as well. This is where basically the wax will go in. This is the wax that I have ordered from Amazon. So what I'm going to do is put some hot water in a pot, and then I'm going to put this container over the pot just like so. The wax inside is going to melt. Another reason why sometimes candles can be toxic is obviously the fragrance. A lot of the fragrances are synthetic, and you're breathing that in, so obviously it's not very healthy, and a lot of people tend to get headaches and have all kinds of sensitivities. So what I normally do, even for our laundry and things like that, is I buy a bit of essential oil. And I got this set. So the one that I'm really liking at the moment is jasmine, and I can basically put it into the wax. So yeah, that's basically how you make natural candles. Right, so guys, this is it. I've poured it in now. It's just a matter of letting it rest, probably for a number of hours. So I'll leave it until tomorrow over in the utility room, and then tomorrow they should be ready to use. These are also the finished candles. So they cured basically overnight, and now they're ready to go. So that's just how simple it is to make homemade candles, you know, and they're toxic free as well. So they're made out of soya wax, which is not toxic, and the fragrance inside is an essential oil. So it's a good way to keep your home toxin free, and it's kind of a cheap way too. And it's always a good idea to reuse different or leftover containers from candles. So I tend to keep mine, and then when I go to make one, I know that I already have the containers, but I think they're fairly cheap to find.
I was never the one to write up a song for just anyone.
Hi guys, so we're just here for a walk just beside the river, and we just wanted to chat about, you know, the realities of the snagging process in a new built home, and just how we've been kind of disappointed. We were more or less told when we came in, so we moved in April, and then we were told that it wasn't basically going to be done over the summer because they were busy finishing up some homes which people were due to move into. So we were being understanding anyways, we weren't going to fall out over it. And then came September and we didn't hear anything, so we had to contact the builder, one of the main builders on the site, and he came in and then he done kind of like a half a job.
There's been no urgency on getting anything done, and you're constantly having to hound them, and you're trying to be reasonable, but you just feel like you're getting nowhere. So I'm sure a lot of you can relate to it.
So that's what it's been. So that's kind of how we're feeling at the moment, because as you can imagine, if we moved in April and it's now November and a lot of them haven't been taken care of, and we also feel like when we do ask them to do something, they do it so poorly, almost on purpose, so that they don't have to come back and that you'll never ask. And me and James kind of are thinking we better just not ask them to do anything, because they make more of a mess of it. Like nothing gets done neatly, and you feel like they're putting the people that are least experienced in to do those jobs. So sometimes on a building site there's certain things that need to be done, and for example, in our case, there was a lot of homes that they needed to finish by certain times because they had sold those homes and the people were due to move in. So they were prioritizing those over the snags. So that's the reality of it. Sometimes it can be like that, and you're not a priority for them. And they probably sometimes maybe even think that you're being petty. So yeah, it's a bit unfair, but that's the way of it.
We obviously tried our best, as I say, to be reasonable and not to sort of rock the boat with the builders, as the saying goes, because we just didn't want to, make enemies. We're trying to be civil, trying to be fair, but it's just been taking forever, and as I say, sometimes you just have to be a bit more firm, unfortunately, when you don't really want to have to. But yeah, hopefully we'll get these jobs all tidied up before the new year, or maybe slightly into the new year at this point, but we'll just have to see how it goes. Okay guys, it's getting pretty cold here. It's the coldest week we've had so far, and it's going to get colder again this week. It's going to be down to the minus numbers overnight, so we're getting a bit cold. We're going to head back to the car, and we're probably going to leave it here for this week. But thank you again for tuning in. I know this video has been a wee bit all over the place because our projects didn't necessarily work out as planned, but that's real life, and that's what we're trying to show here. We're not perfectionists. We don't get everything right the first time, so try our best, try and find little methods of decorating our home for less, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But we hope you enjoyed this video, and we look forward to, as I said, speaking to you in the comments and getting to know you, especially if you're new. If you're new, drop us a comment, introduce yourself, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you again next week.
I was never the one to write up a song for just anyone. I was always the one to find myself lost in long conversations, 'cause I've always been told